Hello and welcome to edupediaworld.com. So friends, in today's video, we will study about heat. So what is heat? Now you must have seen these examples in your day-to-day life. For example, the burning of wood. You must have seen when the wood is burnt, how you feel slightly warm when you go close to it. So there is a kind of energy which is coming out while you burn the wood, right? And you feel warm. If you go even more close, then you start feeling even warmer, right? So this means that there is some kind of energy that is coming out that is making you feel warmer, right? Now next example is, let's say when you are cooking or when you're boiling something on the burner, on the gas stove, then even in that case, the flames that are coming out, this makes the food warm. This makes the water boil when it is kept on a stove. So again, why is the water boiling? What happens because of the flame that the water is boiling? Initially the water is warm and then water becomes hot and then it starts boiling. There is some kind of energy that is supplied because of these burning flames, and these flames are supplying some kind of energy to the water, to the container, and then to the water, because of which it starts boiling. The heat which is coming out from the bulb, when the bulb glows, then it throws that light energy. It also throws some kind of heat energy from the bulb, because you feel warm when you go close to the bulb. Even if you try to touch the bulb, it will be very, very hot. So you can see heat from all these different types of examples in your daily life. There is heat from a burning wood. There is heat when you cook something. There is heat when the bulb is glowing. There are other examples. These are natural examples. The heat and the light energy comes from the sun, and this heat and light energy is absorbed by the earth here. So we also receive this energy. Again, the heat from the volcano. The ashes and a lot of gases, a lot of lava comes out from the volcano. So this is also another example of heat coming out from the volcano. So there are some natural ways in which the heat comes out, and there are some man-made ways of getting heat. So these are various examples of heat, right? So what is heat? So we have seen that sun gives us heat and light, and this heat is received by the earth. So there is some kind of heat energy that is transferred from the sun to the earth, because of which a person, when he is working continuously, he feels hot and he sweats also, right? Another example, let's say you have a cup of hot coffee and you try to hold that hot cup. After some time, you will feel warm. Your hand will become slightly warmer, right? Why is that so? That means heat is transferred from the cup onto the hand, and that's why we feel warm. Our hand feel warm. So energy is transferred from a hotter object towards a colder object, right? And that's why we feel warm. So what is heat? Heat is the energy that spontaneously passes between a system and its surrounding. Now I will talk about this system and surrounding in the next slide. What is the system and what is the surrounding? Also heat, we have seen that heat flows spontaneously from a hotter to a colder body. So that is what is known as heat. Another way of defining heat is that it is a form of energy that is transferred between two substances which are at different temperature. That is, one is hot and the other one is not so hot, or it is slightly cold. So the heat will transfer from the hotter object to the colder object. The direction of energy flow is from higher temperature to the lower temperature. That means from hot to cold. So this is what is known as heat. Now I was talking about two terms, that is system and the surrounding. So let's consider that we have a cup of hot coffee. So since the coffee is hot, the surrounding area, the surrounding air is comparatively colder. So this mug of hot coffee becomes the system. This one is the surrounding. Again, if we have a can of cold water, let's say, so if it is quite cold, it is very chill, then the surrounding air will be comparatively warmer as compared to this cold water, right? So now the air in the surroundings will be warm, and the system over here will be slightly cold as compared to the surrounding. So this is what is known as system and the surrounding. Now, the degree of hotness or coldness of a body or an environment is known as heat. How hot is the body? How much heat is produced by while we burn this wood? So it is a degree of hotness or the coldness of the body. Now, heat is measured in units of energy, and the unit is usually calories or it is joules. So when we say that it is so many calories is a heat, so many joule is a heat. So these are the two units in which we talk about heat whenever we address heat. Now let us talk about three ways of transferring heat, how the heat is transferred from one body to another body or one system to another system. There are three basic ways of transferring the heat. One is conduction, convection, and radiation. So these are the three ways of transferring heat, and we are going to talk about these different methods one by one. Now, before we move on to discussing the different ways and different methods of transferring the heat, let us first talk about what is heat and what is temperature. That is the concept of heat and temperature. So we all have noticed that whenever we heat something, its temperature rises, right? And often we think that heat and temperature are the same thing. There is no difference between the two terms. However, this is not the case. Heat and temperatures, they are related to each other. They are definitely related to each other, but they are two different concepts. It is definitely the heat that rises the temperature, increases or decreases the temperature of any object, right? If you heat something, the temperature is going to go up. So when we add heat to an object, the temperature becomes higher. If we remove heat from any object, then the temperature will come down. So higher temperature means that the molecules are moving very, very fast and they are rotating with a lot of energy. So look at this example here. This is one system that is where temperature is T1, which is cooler than T2, and the temperature is T2, it's slightly hotter. So ideally what should happen is that the energy should move out from this system, which is hotter, and should add to the system. Remove the energy, then the system will become colder, right? So that is the concept of heat and energy. If you add heat, temperatures will go up. If you remove heat, temperature will come down. So if you remove heat from this, heat energy from this, then it will become colder. Next is that when you apply heat to a particular object, then the movement of the molecules inside that particular system or inside that object will be high. That is, the molecules will be rotating, they will be vibrating with more energy. Now, heat is basically the total energy of the molecular motion in a substance, while temperature is a measure of the average energy of the molecular motion in a substance. Now, these are the molecules. So when you apply heat, these molecules will start vibrating and rotating. So if you add, let's say this molecule is moving with less of an energy, this molecule is moving with more energy, again this molecule is moving with some intermediate energy. So if you keep adding all the energies of each and every molecules, then this total internal energy of the substance will become the heat of that object or the heat of the substance. There's a lot of vibration and they are rotating very fast. There are others which are rotating very, very slow. So if we add the energies of all these molecules, then this becomes the total internal energy of the entire object. However, temperature is just the average energy of these molecules, right? So heat energy depends on the speed of the particles and also the number of the particles and the type of the particles in the object. So heat depends upon three things. The more the number of the molecules, the more will be the heat, because you have to add the energy of each and every molecule. So heat depends on the total number of molecule. Heat depends on the speed of all these molecules and the particles, and also the type of particles in the object. Whereas temperature does not depend on the size and the type of the object. For example, the temperature of these two, let's say here the quantity is more, here the quantity is less, the water is less here. They may have same temperature, but they will have different heat content, right? Temperature is not energy, but it is a measure of the energy. Heat is actually the energy, right? So now, are you able to understand what is the difference between heat and energy? Heat is that total energy. If you add up energies of each and every molecule, that becomes the heat content. But temperature is just the average energy. And that is the reason why these two containers, here the water is more, here the water is less. So if you measure the temperature of the water in both the containers, the temperature can be same, but the heat content is different in both the things. Heat content in this will be slightly higher as compared to this, because the number of the molecules are more in this, right? Now let's talk about different ways to transfer this energy. In how many ways can we transfer the energy? So first we're going to talk about radiations. What is radiation? We say that radiations are coming from sun. Harmful radiations are coming from sun. So what are radiation? Radiations are basically rays, the heat rays which are coming. So the sun gives out heat and light, and these radiation reach the earth, and we make use of these radiations, right? We sit outside, we enjoy the hot sun during the winter days, right? So how we become warm when we sit outside for sun? How is it? Because the heat and energy is transferred from sun to our body onto the earth. Another example of radiation is burning of woods. If we sit near the woods, we feel warm. That is because the radiations are coming out, and it is the heat energy is transferred from this system to this system, right, to our hands. So that is what is known as radiation. Through radiations, we are getting heat. So what is radiation? Radiation, first of all, does not rely upon any contact between the heat source and the heated object. Radiation does not require any kind of contact. Even if we are not in contact with the heat source, we will still get radiation. We will still feel warm. Few other examples of radiations are, let's say we switch on the fan and the fan is moving, so we feel the cold air is coming out, right? So we feel cold. If we come out from hot sun and we sit in front of the fan, then we feel relaxed, we feel cold, right? That is because of the cold air that is coming out from the fan. So we don't touch the fan. We sit away from the fan, but still we feel cold. That is radiation. Sun, we have already studied. Bulb again. So even if we do not touch the bulb, we feel warm even if we are in the same room. That is because there is that heat energy that is emitted from the bulb. Sun throws out radiations, infrared radiations, and they reach the surface of the earth. This is again an example of radiation. Radiations are emitted from the surface of sun. What do we know about radiation is that, first of all, no contact is required. No contact between the heated object and the heat source is required to be there. Secondly, there is no transfer of any mass. Nothing is exchanged. And there is no medium required for the process of radiations. You do not require any medium, right? So that is what is known as radiation. Next is conduction. What is conduction? Conduction requires touch. So let's say we have a source of fire here and we put a metal rod in that fire. So after some time, because we are touching the metal rod with our hand, so our hand will also become very hot, and after some time it will become so hot that we will not be able to hold the rod with our hand. So what is happening here? The heat is transferred from the heat source to this metal rod, and that's why even we feel hot, right? So conduction requires touch, right? Conduction is a transfer of heat between substances that are in direct contact with each other. What is important in this case is that it needs to have a direct contact. Unlike radiation, the heat cannot get transferred without touching. You need a direct touch to the heat source. Another example, let's say we have a metal rod here and this is the heat source, and let's say this is the tubes that are connected here, and this we have some liquid, and there are temperature markings by which we can actually measure the temperature of the liquid also in this. And let's say we start heating this metal rod. So metal rod over here initially will be slightly colder. After some more heat is applied, this will become warmer, and then it will become hot. And this heat from one end will start spreading on to the other end like this. So if we measure the temperature, we will see that the temperature in this first tube will be the highest because it is very, very close to the heat source. Now if we move ahead, the temperature will slightly be lesser than as compared to this end. If we go slightly away from the heat source, the temperature here will be the lowest. Now this shows that because the first tube was quite close to the heat source, that is why the temperature was more in this case, because the heat supplied to this tube was more as compared to rest of the two tubes, and that's why you will see difference in temperature of these three tubes, right? So in this case, what is happening? The left end of that rod, this metal rod, left end of the metal rod, you will see it has high temperature. However, if we move towards the right end, then the right end is slightly at a lower temperature because the heat is supplied right on the left end. The transfer of heat by conduction can be studied only if we make use of some kind of a metal, because metals are a good conductor of heat. So now let's talk about convection. In the case of convection, it is the thermal energy that is transferred from hot places to the cold places by convection. What is convection? In the case of convection, like let's say we take an example. We have a container with water filled in it, and we start to, let's say, boil that container. Now after the water starts boiling, heat energy is coming out from bottom to top. That is because the heat is supplied from the bottom. Initially the water which is getting boiled will come up because it becomes light. Then this top layer of the water becomes cold after some time, and it starts to move down. Again, because of the heat energy, the water will boil, it will become light, and it will come up, right? Again, on the top floor, the water will become cold, it will become dense, and it will come down. So this up and down movement of the water is known as convection currents, right? So in convection, it moves up and then it comes down. It moves up and comes down. So the warmer areas of a liquid or any kind of gas will rise to the colder areas in that liquid or gas, right? So this is how the thermal energy is transferred from hot places down to the cold places. So another example of convection currents that takes place, a very good example is the atmosphere. In atmosphere, what happens? Because of the sun, the earth's surface will become generally warm. Now, since the air on the surface of the earth will be warm due to the sun, the warm air will rise up. Now it rises up, it becomes cold, it get condensed, and again the air, after cooling, the air again sinks down. Now when it comes back to the earth, again because of sun, the air will become hot, it will rise up, it will get condensed, the air will become cooler and again come down. So this is the convection current that are taking place in the atmosphere. So warmer areas of gas rises to the colder areas and again comes down. So these are the convection current in the atmosphere. This is exactly what happens in the case of an oil heater also, right? Now, what is oil heater? There is the oils in these pans, right? So below, the oil is hot because the oil is getting heated up inside. Now when it is hot, it rises up. Again, it will become cold. On the top, when it comes onto the top, then it becomes cold. Again goes down. Then it becomes hot because of the heat. Then again it comes. So these are the convection currents in the case of the heaters also. Immediately next to the heater, the temperature is 35 degrees. That is quite hot. Now when this air, the hot air, actually go away from this, then the temperature starts to come down. And over here, the temperature is the coldest. And again, this is circulated back like this and again goes down. So these are the, once the air becomes warm, it rises up like this, right? And when it becomes cold, it comes down. When it becomes hot, it rises up. So that is how the convection currents are taking place. So I hope you must have understood the concept of heat. Also, you should understand the difference between heat and temperature, and thereafter understand the three ways of transferring the heat from one system to another system. So thank you for watching Edupedia World videos.